Kirk, welcome to the Rock Show.
Hey Bruce, how you doing?
You're sitting here off microphone singing Samson tunes. Now, what is that all about? What, you know?
Hey bro, my first encounter with Bruce was through Samson, and songs like Riding with the Angels and Earth Mother and vice versa. And Take It Like a Man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm a child of the new wave of British heavy metal, like the rest of the guys in my band. And, you know, I gravitated toward that whole scene because it was such a great outpouring of music, you know, and I just have really fond memories of just being totally entranced in all those bands.
So, how much of you is enthralled to Thin Lizzy? There is some stuff on this record here.
It was probably the first track, yeah.
Maybe the first or something, and I'm thinking, hold on a second here, you know, that's like from, forget which Lizzy track, but I'm like, I suppose you'd say it was a homage.
Yeah, you know, we're quote-unquote influenced by.
Yeah, but it's great. It sounds great.
I saw Thin Lizzy on the Live and Dangerous tour in 1978 at Winterland in San Francisco. I was maybe 14 years old. It was even before I played guitar, and, you know, I thought I died and went to heaven. And actually, I have to say, part of the reason why I play guitar is because of Thin Lizzy, and definitely the reason why I'm stuck on that goddamn wah pedal is because of Brian Robertson, you know. Yeah, there's some more homages there, you know. The old Richie Blackmore thing comes out a little bit here and there.
Are you a big Richie fan?
Tremendous. Deep Purple, Rainbow. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I heard Stargazer, I about went nuts.
Now, where were you when you heard Stargazer?
I was sitting in a friend's garage, and he came in with a cassette player, and said, "Check this out." And all of a sudden, I heard this crazy drum intro with a pick slide over it. And I was going, "What the heck?" He goes, "Just listen." He goes, "This is Blackmore's thing. This is what he's doing now. Post Deep Purple." And I was like, I want to hear Burn, man. But then, you know, the song kicked in, and I was just taken away.
It's funny you say you were in a friend's garage.
Yeah.
Because I was in a friend's garage when I first heard it as well. And he was fixing a motorcycle.
Oh, really?
This guy. I actually heard it on the radio. And I went, wow, what is that tune? And I listened and listened and listened and listened. And they said Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. And I went right out and bought the record, Rainbow Rising.
Yeah, I remember right after I heard Rainbow Rising, Long Live Rock and Roll came out, and I remember going down to the record store and seeing the big display of Long Live Rock and Roll, you know, with that cover that's the drawing of their faces, and getting it, and like my hands were shaking, and I remember getting the album, putting it on, and hearing Kill the King for the first time. Again, I went nuts, man. I was climbing the walls in ecstasy, you know. Jesus.
So you were playing guitar by then?
Yeah, I was. Well, if you call it playing. Tinkering on guitar.
Tinkering on guitar. Come on then. When did you stop becoming a tinker and actually decided to call yourself a player?
I guess it's that bar chord struggle, that struggle to strengthen your fingers so that you can actually bar all the strings. That's like, you know, the first step. And once you can do that, you know, that's when I finally thought, oh, I'm finally getting a grasp on this. My fingers are doing what they're supposed to do, and they're landing in the right spots.
I mean, how did you bump into the guys? How did you bump into
Lars and James?
Yeah.
I was in a band called Exodus. I formed Exodus in high school. It was my band.
And you suddenly picked up a guitar, and then you started Exodus and everything else.
Yeah.
This is a pretty steep learning curve.
I was just out of high school. Exodus started playing nightclubs in San Francisco, and we heard about this band called Metallica, and they needed some opening bands, and so Exodus managed to get on the bill, and so we opened for Metallica. That was fantastic. I remember seeing them for the first time and thinking, these guys are great, but they could be better if they had me. I actually thought that, you know, before I was in the band.
Well, you were right.
Yeah, well, I guess I was. So if you fast forward now, like 2 or 3 months, I get a phone call from our manager who was Metallica's sound guy, and he said, hey, they're having problems with their guitar player, Dave. Do you want to come out and audition for him? I was like, absolutely. And I actually got the call on April 1st. And I thought, you know, it was just a big wind-up until he called me a couple days later, and I said, are you sure this is the real deal? And he goes, yeah. So I flew out.
Your manager in Exodus got you the gig in Metallica.
Yes.
Did he get commission?
Let's not talk about that over the air.
You know, James was pretty straight about the whole process that you went through on St. Anger and everything else. James has done the whole shooting match,
right.
And obviously that's what he needed to do. Does that throw up any strange tensions within the band sometimes?
No, I don't think so. James is really together. He's not preachy about it. He's not the kind of guy to demand that everyone on the crew not drink. He recognizes it as his issue and something that he needs to deal with, and he's dealing with it.
Okay.
And he's great about it. And I got to tell you, a sober James Hetfield, he's 4 times the man that he was.
So, Kirk, I'm going to ask you to pick your favorite track.
That's a hard one.
Go on, pick your favorite child. It's a tough one.
Hallowed be thy name? That's not on here.
That's not on here, is it? No. Yeah.
I would say the Judas Kiss would be a good one to pick right at this point.
That's a good choice.
All right.
That's great. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and I think you've got more important things to do right now.